Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Rachel and I'm back here with another tutorial of Cisco Packet Tracer. Today we're gonna set up this kind of virtual network. So let me explain what we'll do today. We will have different kind of devices such as smartphone, laptops, and computers. We will have switches, servers, and of course routers here, and access point here for wireless connection. We are going to config all of them. I mean configuring the routers and the switches, and of course we will have a VLAN here, a virtual LAN. We are going to set up that, and we are going to set up an access point here, I mean a wireless connection. So let's do it. So if I want to just start the first session here, I will have to put some devices here. So I start with my 2960 switch. I will put a switch here, and of course it needs some kind of end devices, so I go for 3 computers here, and I don't really want to rename them, so it's not important for me. And let's see what else I need to add, not hubs, so I can go for wireless devices. I go for an access point APPT. I put it here, and I need a server too, so I go for server. I put it right here, and I need a router so I can communicate with another, for example, city. It's just an example, so I go for router. I can it's not important what you pick, but I go for 1941. I put it here. So the next part of this tutorial is going for another network here, so I can put a hub here. Let me go for hubs, PT hub here, for example, in this part. Another router 1941 exactly here. Another server, we go for another server here. Okay, I need another switch. Let's go for switches 2960. I can put it right here. So I need some computers here as well, so I go for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's make them closer. Okay, so I put all of the things. Yeah, it's enough for now. I put all of the things I needed, so I have to put some of these connections. I have to make the connection between them. So you can do it in 2 ways. You can do it as automatically connection, so you can choose automatically, or you can choose I don't know, straight or crossover wire. So if you're not sure which one to pick, it's better to pick it automatically, but I will tell you what to do. So let's just configure this network at the first time. If you want to connect a switch and computers to each other, you have to go for a crossover. Sorry, you have to go for straight wires. So I just click on this one and I put the first one, the fast Ethernet, to another fast Ethernet. I put it on 0/1. It will take some time to make the connection here, so this orange button will change to a green one, a green arrow here. So I go for the next one, straight wire to here, 0/2 and 0/3. Okay, now I have to go for the connection between the server and the switch. I will put this one, the fast Ethernet 0 to 024. The reason I do that, it means you can do for you can go for each one you like. It's optional, but I want to memorize that. Okay, this one is the server, so I put it on 0/24. So every time I want to know what is it port I want, so I easily remember it. So I go for fast Ethernet 24. If you want to put in different ports, it's totally fine. Okay, I go for fast Ethernet 0/24, and I have to make the connection between the access point and switch as well. So I go for here and I put 23 because it's not an end devices like computers, laptops, or the other things. So I'm just doing that so I can separate the end devices and the server and the access point. So I go for 23. It's optional again. Okay, so I have to use some devices that I can I can make the connection between them in the wireless connection. So here I can put two laptops here, and for example smartphone. In some places that we can't use the wires, so we can't make the connection with the wires, with the fast Ethernet ports. We have to do with the wireless connection. So I'm just teaching you these ports after connecting these one. I don't do anything here, so just let me put the other one. Okay, I can go for gigabit Ethernet 00 up to this one, gigabit Ethernet 01. You have to memorize it, so because at the end, for example 10 minutes later, we need to know which port did we make the connection, if we will use it later. So this connection is kind of fine here. Oh, let me just put two computers here. We will talk about them later, not now. Just let me make the connections. Let me just delete them, delete these wires here. I will tell you why. These connections are important for me, so I want to know this one, fast Ethernet 0. I want to put it in 0/1. I want to put it in 0/2 because I will work with them later. But this one is not important, and not this one as well. It's fine. Okay, so these connections are here. They are fine, totally fine, because we can see the orange buttons are going to be green, all of them, except this one. I will tell you why later. So let's make the connections in this network too. So I go for, again, I will make the connections here, fast Ethernet 0/24 to this one, exactly the same here, and I will go for /23 to fast Ethernet 5. So let me just put two computers like this one. So I go for fast Ethernet 0/1 for this one, and I will use /2 for this one. Okay, so the port here is not important for me because I don't care which PC is going to be connected in which port. So if it's not important for me, I just do it automatically because I don't care which port is connected to which port of the hub. So one more. Okay, I need to make the connections between routers and the router between the switch. So I go for gigabit Ethernet 0/1, exactly the same as here, and I will put if you want to make a connection between two same devices, you have to go for crossover, but if they are different, you go for straight. So if I want to put a wire between, it's not a wire really, but in this tutorial, if you want to just put a wire between them, if they are the same, you go for crossover like this one. You can see the shape is kind of different, but if they are not the same, for example, a router to a switch, server to a switch, a laptop, for example, to a switch. So if they are not the same, you go for the straight. Okay, so we can see all of them are connected. So this part is over. Let's go for the next part. Okay, welcome to the next part. So first of all, I want to say the range of the IPs, so we will understand in which IP range we will work. Okay, for this part, for the left part, let me just make a note here. So I want the range that I will work is 192.168.1.0/24. We will talk about it later. So my server IP, just make short, I write SER. Okay, my server IP is gonna be 192.168.1.2. My default gateway is gonna be 192.168.1 and let me just, I haven't noticed that. Again, the default gateway is gonna be 190. Okay, my numlock is off, sorry. So default gateway is gonna be 192.168.1.1, and we have to start using the IPs for these computers here with 192.168.1.5. I will tell you why later. So I want to use the server to use DHCP, so it can automatically give them some IPs giving these 6 devices, not these 2. I will put them manually. I will tell you why. First of all, let me use the IPs here, and first of all, let me just I will tell you why here, because this one I want to put as the admin here. So this IP should always be the same. It means every time we restart the IPs, it has to be the same. These computers or laptops are not important because they are normal people here. But this one, because they are admins, both of them. So let me just use admin 1 and, for example, I don't know, admin 2, and let me write a note here as well. Okay, for the first admin I have to put 192.168.1.3, and let me write it's the first port that we connected to the switch. And for this one I will put 192.168.1.4, and this one is port 2. Okay. Let me give this one the IP that it needs. So I will just left click on this one. I go for desktop and IP configuration. So I said it's static. Every time I turn on this computer, it has to have the same IP. So I do it manually or statically, but for the others I will just use DHCP. So as I write here, I will put the IP address here, 192.168.1.3, and the subnet mask is going to be automatically filled. And for default gateway, I use here my default gateway is 192.168.1.1. Okay, this one is finished. Let's go for the other one. I do exactly the same thing. Okay, so now these two computers have their own IPs. Let me use the DHCP server to give them automatically IPs, to give 6 of them. So I go for server, I go for IP configuration. I told you my server is 192.168.1.2. the subnet mask is the same, and the default gateway, as I wrote here, is this one. Okay, so it's finished here. I go for services. In this one, DHCP, I just turn it on and I say okay, I don't need the pool name, it's gonna be the same. So but the default gateway is gonna be the same for each computer that it's giving them the IP, and the DNS server is not important, and the start IP of these 6 end devices must be here, because I have this one, I have the second, third, fourth IPs here, so I have start with 5, so 192, 168, 1 and 5. The subnet mask is here. I don't change the maximum number of users because maybe later I want to add some, so I don't do anything here, and yeah, I just close it here. I go for this PC, I will go for IP configuration. I use DHCP. It's requesting, and DHCP request successful. It has the own IP. It has its own IP 192, 168.1 and 5, and subnet mask is here. Yep, so it has the own DHCP request successful, and let me check something here. DHCP. Okay, I didn't change the default gateway, because of that it was 0 in that computer, so let me just change it. Let me see if it has changed. Static and DHCP. Why not? Why not? DHCP. We will change it later, so let me just use DHCP for all computers here. Successful. And the next one, as you can see, it has 192, 168, 1 and 7, but I don't want to go for the wireless connection here. It's another part. Let me just put the IPs for this part too. I won't say anything. You can just watch and just learn it, because I told you the whole story about this part. I will do for the right part of this network quickly, so you just learn it. So I go for 10.1.1.0/24, and my server is gonna be 10.1.1.2. the default gateway is gonna be 1.0. Sorry, it must be 10. I don't know why is it 1. 1.1.1, and my start is gonna be 10/1/10.1.1.5. exactly the same here. Okay, I put it right here. I go for first, let me change it. Admin 1/1 and admin 1/2. Just let me change it to 0/1 and 0/2. Okay, so I want to do the same here. I will go for first of all, let me just use 10.1.1.3, and our default gateway is gonna be 10.1.1 and 1. Okay, this one has its own IP. Let me write it here. And this one is gonna be 10.1.1.4, and it's connected to the fourth port. Sorry, the second port. Here, let me make the connection. Okay, so we go for the server to give its own IP. It's gonna be 10.1.1.10.1.1.2. The subnet mask is gonna be 255, 255, 255, and 0. And the default gateway is gonna be same. Okay, I go for services, DHCP, turn it on, and the pool name is not important. The default one is gonna be this one. DNS server is not important. Subnet mask is here. 10.1.1, it's gonna be 5. Okay. So I will put them in automatically DHCP IP configuration. Yep. What? It shouldn't be 1. I put as 5. Let me just check it out. Desktop. Let me put it on static. I will go for server. First of all, the IP is 10.1.1. Okay. The DHCP is okay. It's gonna be 5. I don't know if I have put it on 5 or not. I don't know why it's not saving that. It can't be 1 because this one is 1, I guess so. Oh, this one is not 1. But by the way, I want it to start. Oh, I didn't save it. Oh my god. It's my bad. Yep. Same here. So I go for IP configuration and the HCP. Exactly successful. The HCP here. Great. Good job. So okay, so these computers have their own IPs and this one, and I think I didn't save this part. 100 and let me just save that. And okay, I have to put static and again the HCP so it can have the default gateway. Okay. Good. Now I want to see if I can use ping, so I can see if there is the communication is successful or there is a problem with that. So I say it's what is the IP here? It's 192, 168, 1 and 5. So let me see if I can ping this one to see if there is the connection here. So I go for a command prompt. I type ping 192.168.1.3. So I can see my ping is fine. It replies for me and it says, okay, we received we received all the things you sent us, and there wasn't any lost here. So let me check it for this part too. I don't know, for this one I go for first ping 10.1.1.4, for example. We can see, okay, the connection is successful here. So this part is over. We can have the ping between the computers and our DHCP is working great. So for the next part, we go for the access point to configure it for the smartphone, and of course the laptop. Okay, for this part we're going for this access point. We want to configure that. So I go for access point, I just open it, and there's nothing here. I go for config port 1. I say okay, the port is on, it's fine, and the coverage range is not important for me because it's virtual, So I go for WEP, I turn it on, and I just first of all I make the SSID here. I change it. It's kind of the name of our wireless network. So I don't know, I go for Cisco, for example. Every name is okay in here. So I go for the password here. I will use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I just close this part, and you can see the connection between them are lost. So I use this smartphone here. I just go for config. I use the wireless here. I say okay, your SSID of the access point was Cisco, I guess. So it was Cisco, and the password was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we use the IP configuration as DHCP. I can change it to static, but I don't need static IP, so I just go for DHCP. And let's see if there is the connection here. Yep, we can see. Let me ping. Let me use the ping. Okay, ping 192.168.1.6, for example. Yep, the connection is successful here. I just close this one. Okay, for laptops we need to do more. There is something we have to change. So I go for this one. I just turn off the laptop here, and I say okay, I don't need this part, so I just drag it here and I put it somewhere else so I can make it empty. I go for WPC 300N so I can have the wireless network connection. So I use it here. I just turn it on. I go for here, let me change it as the same. I just turn it off, put it here, put the new one here, and I turn it on. The thing I have to do in the computers, I have to go for PC wireless. So I just click on that. I go for connection. The connect part here. I refresh. I see okay, we have the Cisco SSID here. The signal is great, so I just use the connect here, and I need to write the password 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let me see if it connects. Yep, we have the connection here. Let me just see. I think it has the DHCP IP. Yep, it has. Let me just use the ping to see if there is nothing right here. Yep, great, we have the connection. And if we do the same here for the laptop, PC wireless connect. Let's see if our SSID is going to show here. Okay, this one has 100% signal here. It's where did it go? It's great. I use the connect part. I just type the password here and I go for the connection. Let me see. Great. So let me see if I can use first it's DHCP. Great. Let me see if I can ping these two laptops together. It's the IP is 10. Fine. I go for ping 192, 168, 1 and 10. That's it. So we could successfully run our wireless connection here. So there's nothing wrong here and it's just working. Okay, for this part I'm gonna configure the router here. Yeah, I'm gonna configure the router so I can have the connection between this router and this switch, and of course this router to this switch. So the thing that we have to do is we go for this router, we go on CLI part, and let me just use N here. Okay, here I have to, first of all I have to start my router. So I use let me just see. Okay, I use EN. It's short for enough enable, so you can see it's changed to something like hashtag here, so it means okay, we are ready. And I will type conf t. What does it mean? It means I want to configure the terminal. So it says okay, enter the configuration commands, and one per line. So here I want to say okay, I want to configure the gigabyte 00. I told you this wire I just connected to each other is gigabyte 00. Let me see it again. So do you want? Nope. I can see it, I can use it again, so you will understand why I said okay, I want this port, and I have to remember that. So gigabyte 01, it's not important, this one is important, gigabyte 00. So I want to configure gigabyte 00, so gigabit, sorry, 00. So and okay, here what I have to do, I have to say okay, interface or int gig, short form of gigabit here, which one, 0/0, because we have two gigabits here. 0/0 is this one, I put it here, and 0/1 is this one. So you have to make sure which one are you going to configure. So okay, interface gigabit 0/0 or int gig 0/0. Okay, it says okay, I'm in. What do you want to do? First of all, I say no shot. It means save what we have here, and I want to see if this has the IP here. This default gateway has the IP. I know it doesn't have any IP because I haven't put any until now, but I have to make sure. It means, for example, if I go for the other people network, I want to see okay, what is the IP here. So if I want to make sure, I say okay, do show IP interface pre. So it says okay, on gigabit 00, it means this one, we don't have any IP address, unassigned, and for this one is unassigned either. So now I have to, and we don't have VLAN here until now. Later we have to add many. So here I want to use the IP here. I want to say okay, I want to put the IP here. I say okay, your new IP is gonna be IP add, as I said here, my default gateway IP is gonna be 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is gonna be the same, and the IP is saved here. And if I say again do show the IP, do show do h oh I said IO, do show IP. it says okay, the first one has the IP address and it was manual up. Okay, it's great, and I can use a host name for it. For example, a host name for the router 0, so it doesn't say router. For example, I say the host name is gonna be first or left. For example, left /r. For example, left router. So from now on, it's gonna say left left underline r, not router. So I can every time I see it, I can understand which router I'm gonna configure. So it's finished here. I can see the communication between them are passed. It's successful because the red arrow replaced with the green one. So I have to do the same here with just a different IP. So I go for the CLI, I say no, I don't want. So first I use the enable, I say okay, I want to configure the terminal, and I have to enter my gigabit 0/0 the same, and first no shot to save everything, and okay, I want to make sure again it doesn't have any IP here, so I say okay, do show IP int free. So it's unassigned, and I have to add one, so I say okay, IP add, and what do I have to write? Let me see. 10.1.1.1, and the same here. And if I just first of all, let me use the host name. For example, the host name can be right R. So let me just see if I have assigned the new IP for him. Yep, it's assigned and it's great. So this part is over. Let me just close it so I could connect the switch to the router for both of it. So for the next part, we're gonna configure these routers so they can have the communication between each other. Okay, for this part, let's see how we can configure these two kind of routers. So I place a note here, so I have to put two other IPs, so in a different IP range, so these routers can connect to each other, because this gigabit is 192, this one is 10, start with 10, so they are not in the same range, so I have to use a range IP, the same range IP, so they can have the connection. So for the left one, I say okay, I want 172.16.1.1, for example, /30. And for the right one, I say okay, so because it has to be in the same range, 172.16.1.2. okay, so let me assign, or let me add the new IP for it. So I use exits. So let me start here. I say int or interface gigabit 0/1. Sorry, let me just exit. Press return to get started. Okay, I'm just doing that. Okay. Conf t, so we can have the configuration here. So I say okay, int gigabit interface gigabit 0/1. I mean the 0/1 port is here, this one that connects to the other router. So I want to go for it. I say okay, this one no shots, it means please save it for me. I want IP, so I want to put an IP here, so I say IP add as a route here. I want this IP for it, so IP add 172.16.1.1. okay, and do show IP in spree. So it says, oh, why not? I just wrote the IP here. Oh, sorry, because I didn't write the subnet mask. After that, it didn't save it. So I say IP at 172.16.1.1 and with the subnet mask. For example, this subnet mask. So let me say do show IP in spree. It says okay. This one is you know, the IP address has the new one here, so I have to do the same for this one. I say okay. I go for conf t, I mean configuration terminal. I say okay, your new address is gonna be 100, so IP at 172.168.1.2 with this subnet mask. Oh, sorry, I didn't you know, the invalid input is because I didn't get inside the gigabits of this one. First I have to say int gig this one. Now I have to add the IP address here. And let me see if it was successfully so. As you can see, it's fine here. 172, 168, 1, 2. Yep, 160. Oh, sorry, it's not gonna be 168. It was 16. Because of that, it's not gonna be changed to green one. So again, I have to say IP add one. I don't know why I'm just making too many silly mistakes. So here, let me see. And okay, 172, 16, 1 and 2. And for this one, 162, 16, 1 and 1. Okay, what is 122, 255, 255, 255. Okay, so it's fine here. So I have to just, you know, use the IP route so we can have the ping here to here. So I have I can have the connection between these two different parts. So I go for the left one. I use the exit. I say okay, my IP route, it means IP route should be 10.1.1.0. Why 0? Because I say okay, every IP it has, I don't say it is specific IP, I say all of the IPs that it has in this range. I want to have the connection between them. So IP route 10/10.1.1.0 as I write it here, and with this subnet mask and with this router. So it has to go from this router, and then we can enter this switch. So it's fine. Let's just put it do it the same here. I say okay, IP route 100, this one, this, and 0 I say, because I want to have the all connections and all IPs here. So, and I have to write the router IP here. So let me say do show IP route. Okay, so let me see what is the problem here. Gateway of last resort is not set. Why not? Let me use this one. No. Config gigabyte 0, gigabyte 1, 100. It's fine. This one is fine. Okay. This one should be on. Okay, that's what, because I didn't use the port status here. So let me go for CLI. I say okay, do show IP route. So we can see we can have the connection here. So let me just ping one of these to this part. So I say, for example, from this one I say okay, admin 0/1, can I connect to you? I say ping. I use the IP here. It takes some time because the first is timeout, but I think the others we will have the reply, because we are let me see if there's a problem here. Let me just use it on this one. Okay. Oh. We have the ping here. We have the pin here. Where did you go? For example, from this part. So it has a reply here. I don't know why it didn't just use this one, but we can see here. Oh, it's lost. Reply from destination unreachable. Let me see why. Maybe I just wrote something wrong here. 160, 172, 16, 1 and 1. One and 2. Okay, let me pause the video and see what I have done here, and I will say what was the problem. Okay guys, I have the ping here. I don't know why I had the problem here. I think I haven't wrote no shot. So let me say it again very fast. I came here, I said okay. The first of all, I go for um, configure T. I used int gig 0/1 no shot IP add. Again, I added the IP, the same IP again. I said okay, this one is finished, and after that I said IP route 10.1.1.0, and this one, as you can see, I just restart everything. I did the same thing at all. So I think the problem was I haven't wrote no shot here. So I did the same here for this one because I wasn't sure what was the problem exactly. So I did the same here. I said okay, I first of all I go for the gigabit here, the port 0/1. I said okay, your IP was it, and I wrote it again. And the IP address, I said the IP route 192, that's 168.1.0, the subnet mask here, and the IP of the left router. I said before that I said no shot, and after that I just close it and it was fine. Let me check it again. For example, for I don't know, this laptop, I go and I say okay, ping 10.1. For example, 7. Let me see if we have the ping here. Okay, the first one was timeout because our request was timeout because it was trying to connect another network here. But if I write it again, we will have 4 received tokens and there will be no lost. For example, again, I write the same. You can see all of them are the tokens are fine. Or if I, for example, use these IPs here, we have to have the communication here or connection here. I don't know, for example, 8. Let's see, the first one must be timed out. Our request must be timed out, but the others should, yeah, as I expected. It's fine. So if I write it again, our lost will be 0. Yep. Okay, so this part is also over. We will only need to have one more part for the VLANs, and see you there. Okay, as the last part of this course, we have to see, okay, we need VLANs here. What is VLAN? VLAN is kind of a virtual LAN that it says, okay, although we all, for the left part, although we are all connected to the same switch, but we don't need to have the connection between us. Okay, these admins must send data to each other, and they shouldn't have the connection between these 6 devices, or these 6 devices shouldn't send data to these 2 computers here. So we have to separate them. How can we do that? First of all, let me say, okay, I want a VLAN, and the VLAN name is, for example, admin, for example, admins, and I do the same here. So they have to be in the same VLANs, and of course here we say okay, the VLAN name, for example, I don't know, I'm not sure what to say. For example, I don't know, SUS, for example. I just write it for myself. It's not a word, but I just make it now. SUS. Okay, so these two computers should just connect to each other. They can't send data to other computers, or they can't even receive anything. So for this part, I say, okay, I have to go for the switch CLI. I have to make a VLAN. First of all, I say, okay, first enable, then I say show VLANs. As you can see, the only VLAN we have here is VLAN 1, the name is 1, and it's active, and all the ports of the switch are connected to each other. So it means they can they are in the same group, and I want to separate them. I want to make another VLAN here and use my specific ports for that. That's why I told you I need to know which port of this switch is connected to this PC, because I have to say, okay, for example, port 1 0/1 and port 0/2 are in another group. So how should I say that? Okay, I say, okay, configuration terminal, let's open it. I say interface fast Ethernet 0/1. I mean this one. I have to put it in another group. I say int fast Ethernet 0/1. I open that for myself, and I say, okay, your switch port mode access, your switch port mode access. I want to access to your switch port mode, and I say, okay, your switch port access, you have to access VLAN, for example, admins. It says switch port access. Okay, let me just write a number for it. For example, switch port access VLAN, for example, I don't know, 85. I wrote CLAN, it's VLAN. Oh my god, how many mistakes do I have here? VLAN 85. It says, okay, we didn't have the VLAN 85 until now, but I will create a new one. So access VLAN does not exist. This VLAN is not existed, but we create for you, and it's done. They have created our VLAN. So I say fine, exit. Let me exit from that. I said okay, VLAN 85, the number, I have to make the name. For example, I say okay, name admins. So the name is admin, and I say okay, I can go for exit, enable, and show VLAN. It says okay, you have two VLANs here. The first one is default, and the next one is the first one is 1, the name is default. The next one is 85, the name is admins, and it's activated. You have activated before, and you have the first ports of your switch in this group. So I have to add another port so they can connect to each other, and I do the same for the second port for this one. So I say okay, configuration T. I want to access the other one, 0/2. So I say switch port mode access, switch port mode access, and then switch port access VLAN 85. and it's added to the new one. So if I say do show VLAN, it says okay, you have two VLANs now. Your second one is activated and your first and second port of your switch is connected to that group. So let me just check it out. I have to send a token to this one, and it has to say okay, I received it and it's fine, but I shouldn't I can't send a token to the others because they are in another group. So let me check it out. I say okay, ping this computer. We have the connection here because they are in the same group, but we can't have the connection with this one. What is the IP here? 5. So I say ping this one. As you can see, we don't have the ping here, we don't have the connection here because it's in another group, and the time you can see our request is timed out. Okay, we have to wait for it so it's finished here. Okay, it's over. It doesn't have the connection here, so let me do the same for this group too. I say first I go for the switch, I say enable and show VLAN. We don't have any VLAN here, so I have to make one. I say configuration T, I need your fast Ethernet 0/1, so switch port mode access, and your switch port access VLAN, for example 75. It's not existed yet, but if I just enter it, if I just use my enter button, it will make it. As you can see, it says okay, we don't have it, but we will create it for you. And I just exit and I say VLAN 75. It enters it for me, and I say your name must be, for example, as I said, SUS, and it says okay, fine, whatever you say. I just exit from here. Let's see, do show VLAN. Sorry, it's switch. First of all, let me just conti. Let me add the other one. I say okay, your int fast Ethernet 0/2, your switch port mode access, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 75. So I just exit and I say en enable show VLAN. So it says okay, you have another VLAN here. The name is SUS, and it's activated, and it has 2 ports for itself. So if I ping these 2, they should have the connection here. So if I say ping 10 1 1 and 4, okay, we have it here, but I can't have the connection with this one because it's not in my group. So ping the other one, for example it's 6, I don't know. Okay, our request is not completed because they're in the other group. Our tutorial is kind of finished for today. Maybe for later I will add some other features of Cisco Packet Tracer, but today you have done a lot of things, and congratulations, and I hope you can use it very good and with the specific details, and wish you the luck.